Hola todos, Michelle here with an update for Dreaming Spanish. I am currently at 216 hours of input, and I did fall off for probably like the last 3 weeks. I'm not including this one, but prior to that, I probably inputted about like less than an hour and a half of input within those last 3 weeks. Part of the reason was I was in Mexico, and so I was trying to watch videos, but just with like, I don't know, I just wanted to enjoy myself. I didn't want to feel like I had to do anything. And plus I was getting those input hours also from, just being there as well. So it was like a perfect mix. But I can start off and go ahead and into my Mexico trip, which was really great. I had a lot of fun. I will say that being in Mexico and being around like a lot of obviously native Spanish speakers, for me, it was like, okay, I could probably comprehend around maybe like 60% of what was going on, not entirely everything. And I wanted to congratulate myself on that as well, because there are moments where like conversations are happening and I'm like, I'm not getting it. And it kind of becomes frustrating because I feel like, man, I'm working so hard and I'm doing all this comprehensible input, but understanding like it's a journey, and not to get hard on myself, but to say like, hey, if I was doing nothing, I would be understanding nothing that would be happening on this trip. So definitely a round of applause for myself on that. And then my partner, she speaks Spanish, so I noticed like maybe it's not done on purpose, but a lot of the times when conversations are happening fast or somebody needs answers, I rely on her to kind of just keep the conversation moving and flowing. And obviously when you can speak it, there is a flow to the conversation, rather than, I'm not there yet to have a fluent conversation. I did get my nails done, and so in the midst of getting my nails done, even got, I don't know if you can see the arrows. I love Avatar, The Last Airbender, so that's what my nails represent. But anyways, while the lady was doing my nails, and her name happened to be Michelle as well, we were having a conversation in Spanish because it was more one-on-one. When I'm getting my nails done, it's not like she was in a rush or anything like that. It was very much her taking her time. So I was able to practice listening and also doing my best to, answer those questions that she had for me as well, so that we could have a conversation in the midst of getting my nails done. So that was really cool. One thing that I do want to get back into on like just like the comprehensible input side is that I recently downloaded this app called VIX, VIX. And the reason I did that was because T-Mobile gives away free things like every week by being a T-Mobile customer. And so one of them was a premium membership to the VIX app. And the VIX app is like a lot of Latino content. And one thing that I want to start doing more of is watching more content in Spanish outside of Dreaming Spanish. Because I am noticing that sometimes, right now I don't have the premium subscription on for Dreaming Spanish. And so I like the content that keeps me active and engaged. So it's actually making me think like I want to go ahead and do another month of the premium subscription with Dreaming Spanish, because normally I go off and on, but I did go off because I knew I was going to be going to Mexico and I didn't want to have to be paying for a subscription that I was not going to be utilizing, especially for like a week. And so for me, the VIX app, I just started using that maybe like 2 days ago. So utilizing that because I want to be able to find content like on the go. So usually when I'm using Dreaming Spanish and watching those videos, like I'm very much like I'm going to be sitting down for a certain period of time, usually not 5 minutes, and I want to be able to put more input into my ears and not just depending on Dreaming Spanish alone. So I figured that this VIX channel would be helpful, because I can like just scroll through like the guide or scroll through the channels, and there's different things that are happening on live TV within this app, which is nice. And so I can just sit there, pick up on something, and if I gotta go, I gotta go. If I'm like, ooh, what show is this? And I can keep learning or watching, or say like, oh, I want to learn more about this show. I have continued to watch La Fea Más Bella, which is like the Ugly Betty basically, and I like that because it's funny and it's keeping me like interested in like the show and the concept, which I pretty much get what's probably gonna happen. It's probably not a secret there, but the fact that it's entertaining for me, it makes me want to continue listening more and watching more. So that has been really helpful, and just actually like looking to more like native Spanish context so I can get my ears tuned to like the way they speak and hearing those words, because from the whole concept of Dreaming Spanish, it's just continuous input. So I want to just bring more of that into my surroundings and not just only in one resource, which is Dreaming Spanish. So I've been doing that. And then what else? Oh, the Women's World Cup is happening right now, and I was like, oh, let me look at the Fox app. But the Fox app told me that it would be broadcasting everything in English. And so I was like, I don't really want to watch soccer in English right now, because my goal is to just continue putting more input, surrounding myself with more input. That's really what my goal is right now, is input. I did mention like the intermediate content kind of being a little slow, like even when they speak. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm just getting so much better at comprehending, or if it still sounds similar to like the super beginner stages. So I am going to be going over to like the premium and seeing what that looks like, but also incorporating like I said, the La Fea Más Bella show, and then utilizing this VIX app that T-Mobile offered to utilize as well, to get more input in going on. I also started to watch Friends. Like, I would YouTube it, and they would show Friends, clips of Friends, because I just want to like create different things that I can listen to, because sometimes sticking to one thing, I get bored, and when I get bored, I start drifting off. And when I start drifting off, I'm not even paying attention to what's in front of me. I'm thinking about other things, and input is not happening at that time. So I want to make sure that when I do sit down for those things, I want to be focused in that and not be distracted or my mind wandering, things like that. Because if my mind's wandering, I'm technically not inputting anything. At least that's how I feel. Like, for me, I want to be like in a place of like, it's like active listening and it's not passive. So I feel like the active listening is helpful for me as well. Let's see. So I talked about that. Yeah, just wanting to immerse myself more in the language. It's just noticing that when I do start to get into my consistent flow, so I started to do that this week, because I had to like refocus on just giving time to myself, because I was giving like time to other things. And so I noticed that when I start to focus and I, get consistent with just hearing the Spanish, it's almost like it just flows a little bit easier. It's like, it doesn't sound jumbled. Like, it starts to like open it up. It's like you literally like music to my ears, but it's like words to my ears, where it starts to like, I'm like starting to just like, oh, okay, I hear that word, I heard that phrase, and it feels really nice and great to do that. So that is my update for this video. And please let me know down in the comments how you're doing along your journey. What have you learned about yourself? I would love to hear a micro win, as always, because it's very inspirational to hear from you, and learning like, what win did you have for yourself, because I feel like it just empowers me more to want to keep going. So please share, and wherever you're at, if you're starting, you're keep going, you're at 1,000 hours, or you're thinking about starting, it's just one step at a time, literally 1 minute at a time of comprehensible input, and before you know it, the hours start to add up, and the progress just continues to happen, and it'll happen before your eyes, because that's been my experience. It's been happening before my eyes, and I'm like, I'm so proud of myself. Okay, anyways, I will talk to you guys later on the next video. Ciao.